My name is James McCombs, and welcome into the Valor Racing League. Tonight we have a very special season opener for you all, the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Once again, my name is James McCombs, the brand new broadcaster for your Cup Series races here in the Valor Racing League. Hopefully you guys enjoy this journey with me. I know I'm very, very excited to get into my first race, and I hope you are as well. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we get ready for the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. A couple things to note. The distance tonight, 100 laps, 200 total miles are going to be covered in this event. 2 times wear on these fuel cells and all 4 of the fresh rubbers on the car. 29 laps of green flag racing in stage number 1, 28 laps in stage number 2, and 39 laps in stage number 3 means pit strategy is going to be the craze here on these long green flag runs. Tire windows, these guys can make it 27 to 31 laps right there on the edge of where they want to be, but only 20 to 22 laps on a single fuel run. So these guys already know that they're going to have to come to pit road at least once every single stage. We'll see how that fares for each and every driver. This track is 2 miles in length, just about the same size as Michigan International Speedway. 14 degrees of banking in the corners means that this is not necessarily going to be a side-by-side racing track as much as it's going to be getting that inside line and making sure that these guys have everything that they possibly can going for them on that inside line. 11 degrees of banking on the front straightaway means that these guys are also going to have to deal with getting passed on the lower line on the front stretch, which just adds another element of close side-by-side racing here at Auto Club Speedway. This track has not been paved since it was created in 1997, meaning that since this track is open, it's never been repaved. This old and abrasive surface is going to be very tough on tires, especially on those right fronts. It's going to be very, very tough for these drivers, and we'll see what they're going to be able to do over the course of a long green flag run to try and preserve those tires for as long as they can. Try and make some right side only stops and see if they can make it to the end of these stages just a little bit quicker, because every single bit means everything here, and one mistake can cost you the race in this uber competitive series here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series in the Valor Racing League. Once again, my name is James McCombs. Thank you guys so much for joining in to tonight's broadcast. If you do enjoy what you're watching tonight, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world, not just to me and to all the other broadcasters that we have on board, but to all those who help run the show and all of the drivers that bring you this great action every single week for the next 19 weeks after tonight as well, here after the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. With that, my name is James McCombs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's race. These drivers are just finishing up qualifying right now, and then we are going to be ready to go green flag racing in Southern California at the Auto Club Speedway. One of my personal favorites. I hope you guys enjoy the show tonight. We'll be right back. We already got Red Leg Racing 757 in the chat saying, good luck, Peach State. Good luck, Peach State. All right. First person in the comment section tonight. If you guys want, make sure you interact in the comment section with me. I'll be open to talk to you guys as the broadcast continues to go on. There's Easy 1889 making his way in. All of you guys coming in. Hopefully y'all enjoy the show tonight. I'll be making sure that I can get the chance to interact with you guys. Keep the chat open. We got the title of the race down below and all the action on the screen, so you guys are up to date on everything. I'll have standings pulled up in front of me as the race continues to go on. Hashtag DMS Nation from CyberBionic84. Hopefully y'all are just as excited as I am for this one. I know that this is going to be one of the most exciting season openers that I've ever been a part of, and I am very much ready to go here in the Valor Racing League in the Pocono Racing Cup Series California Dreamin' 200. Again, in just a moment, we will have qualifying set up for you guys. These guys going through qualifying right now. And then we're going to have the starting lineup set up as we get ready to go green flag racing here in SoCal. Once again, my name is James McCombs. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the show. We'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the starting order is in. Number 17, Fluffy, the man driving the number 17 Ford Mustang. He is going to get the pole position with a lap of 38.575 seconds. Slade comes in at number 2 in the number 38 machine with a 38.6. Jose starts third in the number 78 machine with Picola starting in 4th in the number 20. Mike starts in 5th in the number 4 machine with Big D starting in 6th in the number 9. Diesel starts this one in 7th in the number 19 machine with Jason in the number 14 Ford Mustang starting 8th. Starting 9th is Birdster in the number 10 machine, and Celtic starts 10th in the number 88. Starting 11th is the number 37 of K-Taddy, and starting 12th is Marcus in the number 42. Marinate in the number 6 machine starts in 13th, and 2 is outside the number 18 of DK Brown with a 38.9 second lap. Vega starts in the number 32 machine in 15th with Coach Matt outside of him in the number 43 machine. Brennan starts in 17th in the number 95 with Saints in the number 12 machine starting in 18th. MJO starts in 19th in the number 2 machine, and outside of him is Runner in the number 48 machine. Starting 21st is Max Boost in the number 77, and outside of him, McLovin Racing in the 00 machine. And starting 23rd is Jocko in the number 22 machine. There's your starting lineup for tonight's event. Hopefully, you guys are as excited as I am. That's the starting order for tonight's race here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway in SoCal. Close to my hometown and my personal favorite track. I got my first chance to see Kyle Busch win here in 2013, as well as 14, and his 200th win in 2019. Just a little bit of personal experience. Been with my dad to the last 9 races in a row here at Auto Club Speedway. Always one of my favorites to watch, both virtually and in person. And I'm so excited that I get to bring you guys coverage of tonight's event. I'm just as ready as you guys are in the chat, already blowing up in tonight's event. Hopefully this race goes about as well as it possibly can. I am so excited to bring you guys coverage. Once again, my name is James McCombs, the new broadcaster for the Cup Series here in the Valor Racing League. Hopefully you guys are very excited for tonight's event. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Getting ready to go green flag racing in the California Dreaming 200 here in the Valor. Hopping into the lobby now and getting ready to go green flag racing here in Southern California. Your pole sitter for tonight's event once again is the number 17 of Fluffy in his beautiful Roush Racing Ford Mustang. We'll look to see what he can pull off from the pole position. and what guys like McLovin Race and Coach Matt and Marcus can do starting back outside of the top 10. We know they've got some quick machines and some great custom setups. We'll see what they can pull off here in tonight's season opener in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series in the Valor Racing League. Once again, I couldn't be more excited to bring you guys coverage of tonight's event, and hopefully you are as excited as I am. Getting ready for the green flag here in Southern California at the Auto Club Speedway. These guys might already be down and off at the green flag, and indeed they are already getting set to go racing as these guys are getting lined up. As you can see, all these guys are on track now, getting ready in the starting lineup for tonight's event. It's going to be very, very exciting. A couple of test cars, a lot of great sponsored machines, including Marcus E-Dub's number 42 machine in the Mick delivery. Number 42 Chevy Camaro for Chip Ganassi Racing. Mike RPM 44 running that classic silver and black Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. Look for him to be a factor in this race in tonight's event. And for those of you wondering, I am alone in tonight's broadcast, getting ready to run this from my bedroom here in Las Vegas, Nevada. All ready to go for what should be an awesome green flag packed action event here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. We get ready to go green flag racing here in the Valor Racing League here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. I couldn't be more excited to bring you guys coverage of tonight's event. And these guys get ready to take the green flag in just a moment here after one more pace lap. Eating into a couple of these green flag laps, but we should have 27 laps of green flag racing here in stage number 1. As that beautiful number 17 orange Roush Racing Ford Mustang leads these guys around for their parade lap. Very reminiscent of what happened with Jimmy Johnson earlier on in the season here in the actual NASCAR Cup Series, where he got a chance to lead these guys around Auto Club Speedway, his home racetrack. And I got a chance to witness that personally, one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. I also got the chance to go down to Phoenix Raceway just last weekend and witness Chase Elliott win his first ever NASCAR Cup Series championship, and it is a day I will never forget. Definitely a great way to spend the season, especially being with your family. Hopefully you guys are all staying safe as we continue to battle COVID-19. Make sure when you go out that you are as safe as possible. We are already being as safe as we possibly can here around the country. Hopefully you guys are doing your part in making sure to stop the spread. We can only stop this together. With that, we get ready to go green flag racing here in just a moment's notice here in the Valor Racing League Pocono Raceway Cup Series in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. These guys get into the Geico restart zone, and Fluffy gets a huge run off the start and leads these guys down to the green flag as we get ready to drive down into turn number 1 here in the Valor Racing League at Auto Club Speedway. Fanning out as they head into the corner. These guys are going to be trying to hug that apron on the inside line and get the run off the corner on the outside. Using that draft to their advantage. Taking a look at Slade G84 in the number 38 machine. Trying to run down the guys in front of him. Getting down into a single file line. That draft's going to be uber important today here at Auto Club Speedway. These guys are going to be pushing into the corners with everything they've got while trying to stay off of those aprons. In turn 1 and in turn 3 with a looser setup, those aprons can be detrimental to these guys having a good run, because one little slip on them can mean too loose of a car will send those things spinning in the middle of the corner and ultimately sweep up an entire pile of race cars. You see now Slade G84 making a run now on the number 78 machine, looking low in the middle of turns 1 and 2. But that number 78 machine is going to have a run off of the corner. As we take a look now at some of the side-by-side racing. Heading down the backstretch, the number 10 Ford Mustang is going to push Diesel down into turn number 3 on that inside line. It leaves the number 9 machine out all on his lonesome. That is Destroyer, Big Destroyer, in fact, trying to make a run on the high line in his UniFirst Chevy Camaro, normally run by Chase Elliott for Hendrick Motorsports. That low line's going to get the run, though, with a push from the peak number 14 machine as well as the number 6 Ford Mustang for Roush Racing. Back down into turn 1. Big Destroyer is going to try and clear him now. Coming out of turns 1 and 2, these custom setups do quite a number for these drivers. They're able to run that high line with more consistency, and they're able to get these runs off the corner that they otherwise wouldn't have a chance of being able to get now. As we go 3 wide for 6th place as they drive down into turn 3. Destroyer can't quite clear the number 10 machine. Trying to see who that is as we drive down into turn number 3 here. 4 wide now as Bergster leads this group off of turn number 4. And down onto the front straightaway. Everyone starts to close back in on one another. Bergster leads that bottom row. You see Big Destroyer on the high line there in the number 9 Uniforce Chevy Camaro trying to drive down into the corner with everything he's got. Bergster's got to pull out a little bit more than the rest of the competition. However, he's also going to get them run through the corner with a little bit of help from that lane underneath, and that's definitely going to help him over the course of the run. Now the 14 trying to make a move. 3 wide for 7th position as they drive down into the corner. Will they start to use that apron? You see the 95 got on it in turns 3 and 4. Banking here a little bit different, allowing for these drivers to be able to get onto that banking, which is a higher banked apron, in turns 3 and 4. So it's going to help them out a lot more to try and arc that corner just a little bit differently. And if they're able to get it there, it'll certainly help them out over the course of a run. It'll be very interesting to see what these guys use that apron for over the course of a long run as these tires continue to lose grip. Now Bergster showing that he's got a fast Smithfield Ford Mustang, as he runs down the back straightaway and tries to run away from the rest of the competition. Up front, we've got a battle for the lead, though, as that number 4 Ford Mustang continues to try and push on the number 17 in front of him, of Fluffy, as they continue to drive down the front straightaway. A look low as he blocks the run of the number 4. Then number 20, Toyota Racing Development sponsored Toyota Camry of Cola Motorsports drives down into turn number 1 in third, just in front of Slade. As they make their way through the corner, everyone running that low line, although you see Cola running just a little bit higher, not quite using up that right front as much to try and get towards the wall coming out of turn number 2. Might be helping a little bit with that right front tire wear. These guys all drive this track just a little bit differently. So many ways to drive this track and get the exact same lap time. It's a very unique speedway, and you don't see many like it on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. So here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series, these guys are going to do everything they can to try and run it just a little bit differently than the competition ahead of them so that they can get a shot at getting a passing lane underneath their competition or outside of their competition, depending on the racetrack here. Cola takes a much higher line into turns 1 and 2. A veteran move here, trying not to use up those right side tires as much. Might have some more for the 2 guys in front of him later on in a run, and I'm sure that custom setup is going to be helping out a little bit with him as well. He's got it tuned up to his driving style, using things like the right side of the car's sway bar, as well as tire pressures, wedge adjustment, and many other factors that are going to help him out in that number 20 Toyota Camry as well as the rest of the field. Now you see him get the huge run off of turn number 4. Obviously, he's got that car tuned up the way he wants it. Fluffy's going to have to block his run as they head down into turn number 1. And it looks like the caution flag is flown for the first time here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. These guys are now getting ready to go back green flag racing after we've had our first caution called so far today. We'll look to see what it was. It looks like the number 14 machine's got some serious damage on him, as well as the number 95 machine as well. It looks like the number 2 may also have some serious damage in his discount tire Ford Mustang for Penske Racing, and it looks like a couple of others might have gotten a little bit swept up in this incident as well. The number 18 of DK Brown 86 is among them. We'll look to see as these guys now get ready to see whether they're going to hit pit lane this time by or next time by, whether pit road is still closed or not. We'll be looking to see momentarily. As you can see, Fluffy, the leader of this group, decides not to make his way down pit lane, and we'll see whether everyone else is just grouping up now, and it certainly looks like it. No takers on pit lane this time by, so it looks like pit road is still closed for the moment. We'll be looking to see what these guys can do here, whether pit road strategy becomes a factor here, because we know that these guys are going to be doing quite a bit to try and get a leg up on the competition. Who's going to take 2, who's going to take 4, and who's going to stay off of pit lane altogether? Will they be able to save enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage if they pit right here and make it all the way in? It all depends on what these guys do here on pit lane. Montgomery staying out of trouble early, good to see there. And Big Jim 11, welcome in. Same nickname as me in my high school. I'm very glad to see it, Max Boost. Indeed, Matt Hardman, and thank you everyone who's tuning into tonight's event, blowing up that comment section. Thank you guys so much for all of your interaction. You are the difference here in the Valor Racing League, and I'm so glad that we could have you on to watch this broadcast here tonight, the season opener here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Now Fluffy leads this group around turns 3 and 4 as these guys get ready to see whether they're going to make their way onto pit road or not. That number 17 looks like he's pulling off. Will he hit pit road? Indeed he does. We'll be looking to see whether the guys behind him decide to come down pit road as well. Getting this front end camera, it looks like every single driver on the track decides to make their way to pit lane, and so we'll get a little bit of action here to see whether these guys are going to make their way off of pit lane and who's going to make it off first. We'll focus on that number 17 machine as he's got a pit stall near the end of pit road here, and see who makes their way off of pit road first. Unfortunately, the camera angle not too great for us, but we'll get a chance to see here with an overhead cam to see who gets off of pit lane first here. As we'll see who decides to come in for 2, who decides to come in for 4, and what kind of track position is going to change hands as these guys continue on getting service on their number 17 and onward. Cup Series race cars. It looks like the number 17 machine is going to pull off the pit lane first, and the 38 machine behind him. The 4 and the 20 follow off. The 10, the 78, the 9, and then the 88. The 37, the 77, and then the 6. The 43, the 00, the number 12 machine, the number 2, and the number 14, along with a few others in between. And the rest of the field now just making their way in a pit lane, including MJO just now coming off the pit road after having some repairs done to his machine, as well as the 95 of Brennan, BBS Brennan 20, DK Brown as well. And all these guys finally make their way back onto the racetrack. They'll line up now after repairing the damage on their race cars and getting 4 freshies and a full can of Sunoco racing fuel. They'll get ready to go back green flag racing here after they line up the next time around here in the Valor Racing League. Pocono Raceway Cup Series, California Dreaming 200. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the broadcast so far in its early stages here. And if you are, I highly suggest that you drop a like and comment and subscribe in the future if you want to continue to catch all of our races as we continue along here in the young season in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. And make sure you check out our Monday night races as well, where you get the chance to see Slade G84 as well as Koala commentate some of the Xfinity Series races. We'll be looking to see what those guys can do on Monday nights. So you guys get 2 nights of racing action every single week here in the Valor Racing League. These guys are now lining up using that choose rule to check and see where everyone's going to line up here on the restart. Again, Fluffy in that number 17 machine so far continuing to hold on. Pretty impressive is that setup on that Roush Racing Ford Mustang. But some of these other guys are going to get a chance now to show what they can do. That number 10 machine all the way up to 5th. He's definitely going to be someone to look out for as the run continues along. That's Birdster in his Smithfield Ford Mustang, and he sure does have something for these guys, and I know it. He's got a quick race car. You saw it when he was able to pull away from that giant pack of race cars behind him, with the draft being so important here at this racetrack. These guys are doing everything that they possibly can. And Jordan, you just mentioned it, that choose rule. I absolutely love it as well. It's definitely a good way for these guys, just like in the actual NASCAR Cup Series, to get a chance to choose what they want to do, where they know their car is going to run better. You see that number 20 machine warming up those rubbers that they just got put on pit lane as these guys get ready to get down to the Geico restart zone and get ready to go green flag racing once again here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. Back down to green we go, and this time it's the number 38 machine that's going to get the push. That's Slade on the number 17. Everyone else drops low right behind him, including the number 4. And Cola Motorsports in the 78 slides into 5th position as these guys use those fresh rubbers and rocket down into turn number 1. And here comes Birdster. He's not going to let that run from the number 78 machine hurt him at all. He's going to have a chance here of running down this top 5 at the number 78. He's got a run coming down into turn number 3. That is Jose as they drive down into the corner. Looking to see what he can do here in the middle of the corner. Will Jose get the run off coming out of turn number 4? I know he's going to try everything he possibly can. Jose 720 is going to steal 5th place away as they drive down into turn number 1. But Birdster looks low, coming down into the corner. The nose of that Ford Mustang gets down low underneath the Christensen arm. Chevy Camaro of Jose 720, but will he be able to get by him? Jose is going to have the run off the corner and the drafting help from another Chevy Camaro in the number 9 Unifirst Chevy Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. We'll be looking to see whether he pushes him into 5th as they head into 3, and indeed he does. But now the 10 of Birdster going to get the run out of turn number 4, even having the inside line. It's going to take some drafting help from the number 88 to help him out, and he's going to give it to him, actually, as they drive down the front stretch. That's Celtics. He's going to give some help to his Hendrick Motorsports teammate as they drive down into the corner. The number 10 machine is going to get the run into the corner and take 6th place away. And now the 42 is going to get a chance here at the number 88 machine coming out of turn number 2. Chevy Camaros battling down the backstretch, but he's not going to be able to hold on. Now the number 19 gets a look under Marcus. That is Diesel heading down into turn number 3. The top 4 not able to scamper away from this group. Something to keep in mind, as it looks like you've got just about 12 race cars sitting up there in the front of the pack, doing everything they can. As they continue to run down the front straightaway now, the number 9 pushing Birdster, heading back down into turn number 1, and it looks like both of them are going to steal a spot away from Jose 720 as they head down into the corner. Fluffy leading back up front, but now a challenge on the outside line in the form of the number 20 machine as they come out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. It's definitely going to be tough for him to be able to get by on the outside line, but he makes it happen, and now he's going to look for the lead here in turns 3 and 4. Washes up the racetrack ever so slightly. That's Cola Motorsports coming out of turn number 4, but he stays in front of that number 4 of Mike, and he's going to hold on to second position. We know he's got a fast Toyota Camry, but will it be enough for him to run down Fluffy and get by him here in the next couple of laps, because the numbers are starting to wind down? The laps counting down here in stage number 1 in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. These guys have all evened out up front, racing single file, not battling one another for the moment, because they want to have something for the end and save just a little bit of fuel if they possibly can. It's going to be great to see. We'll look to see who's got the advantage here in just a little bit here in the later run, but right now you're looking at some phenomenal racing up front. Now you see the number 4 trying to get that run with a draft up from the 17. The 20 looks up high on the front stretch. Fluffy shuts the door on him as they head into turn 1, and oh, the 20 gets into the outside wall after contact with the right side of Mike as they head into the corner. And we'll look to see how many spots that number 20 machine is going to drop as they come out of the corner, all the way back to the end of this first group of race cars. And unfortunate to see right there, that's going to drop him out of this middle group and give him some damage on the right side of that race car. But it opens up some opportunities now as Burster is taking third spot away. And here comes the number 9 of Big Destroyer, looking for 4th on Slade G84 as they rocket down the front straightaway. Here comes the number 88, giving a push to his Hendrick Motorsports teammate once again, driving down into turn number 1. Big Destroyer takes 4th away in that number 88 machine. ChevyGoods.com. Chevy Camaro takes away 5th as they come out of turn number 2, and now a chance for the number 36 machine, who we have yet to see from today. That is going to be the Chevy Camaro of Giggity. Driving down into the corner now, looking for 6th. Can't quite get there, and Slade's going to clear him as they come out of turn number 4. These guys just can't quite get off of one another. The draft, such a huge factor here at Auto Club Speedway, and it's doing everything he possibly can now to try and get away from that draft and make a pass on Slade now, as he had 6th in his clutches for just a moment, but he couldn't quite take it away, and he allowed Slade to get right back by. Big Daddy Giggity trying to run down the guys in front of him, and it'll look like there's some contact on the back straightaways. A couple of cars slid down. The number 88 machine slides into turn number 3. He holds on. We'll look to see whether these guys hold on green flag racing or whether they call the caution up in the tower. It looks like the 88, the only one that got significant damage, and it looks like, unfortunately, we're going to continue to go along green flag racing. That number 88 machine is going to have some serious damage that he's going to have to recover from. It looks like the 95 of BBS Brennan also had some damage from making contact with the inside wall after getting loose coming out of turn 2. You guys saw that car slipping and sliding coming out of the corner in the back of your screens. You'll be able to tell that he's got some serious right front damage, and now the number 88 machine and the number 95 both at an extreme disadvantage. As we continue going along, they'll have a lot of ground to make up if they want any chance of getting by, but better to make those mistakes in stage 1 than in stage 3, where you'll almost have no cautions to make up for it unless some serious finagling happens with these drivers getting a little too rowdy up front. We'll look to see what they can do. The number 17 machine has done a great job so far. That is Fluffy XX2 of holding on, but it looks like the caution flag is flown here. These guys have called a manual caution for some reason, and that is going to allow these guys to make another chance at coming onto pit road, and that's going to allow Brennan to catch up to these guys as well. He'll have some serious repairs to make on that number 95 machine, but as he catches up, he'll definitely have the chance to do so. As he catches up with the rest of the group now, we'll look to see what he can do after making repairs on that number 95 machine. Taking a little bit of a look through the running order, the 17, the 4, and the 10 lead the way. A little bit further back, some of these guys that were running really well early on haven't quite stayed up in that top 3 or 4. You see Jose 720 had just a taste of it. He's fallen back outside of the top 5 by a considerable margin. And the number 19 and the number 9 also stick right with it. The number 88 machine that we saw just a little bit earlier on, now falling back to the rear of the pack. It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers continue to develop as the race goes along. Everyone once again decides to make their way onto pit road. Just a little bit of insight for these drivers. It looks like for tire pressures and tire wear, these guys have just about 20 PSI on those left side tires, 58, 59 on the right sides. Wedge can span anywhere from 48 to 54 on these race cars depending on what they choose to do, and that can drastically change how these guys go along within a race. 15.9 about your average pit stop time. We'll see whether that 17 loses a position or not due to a slower pit stop from that Roush Racing crew. As they come off the pit lane, it looks like Fluffy's going to lead the way. The number 4 machine still comes off second, the 10 and third. The 38 machine rolls off fourth. And it looks like a couple more of these guys going to continue to roll off. It looks like the number 37 machine rolled off 7th. The number 19, 6th. The 77 in 5th. And the number 9 machine rolls off 8th. The number 79 Chevy Camaro rolls off 9th. And we'll look to see where they stack up behind him as the choose rule comes into effect in just a little bit here as these guys will make their way back onto the front stretch. Some of these guys still in pit road making repairs to their race cars. As we continue along here in the first stage, there's Brennan coming out of turn number 2, the last driver to come back with the rest of this group. Getting ready now as we get set to go green flag racing in just a lap and a half. Taking a look at the back end of some of these race cars as we make our way back up front to the number 17 of Fluffy XX2. We'll take a backhand look here at that race car as these guys decide where they want to go on the choose roll right at the start-finish line. They'll figure out what they want to do. And I'm sure these guys might be running these cars in 4th gear even just a little bit right now to try and conserve a little bit of fuel because you never know when it might come in handy. 17 machine's going to roll on the inside line, and the number 4 right behind him. Birdster also takes the inside line, the number 38, the first to go on the outside, and a litany of race cars follow him, including the 77 and the 19. Everyone else now continuing to move along on the inside or outside line as they make their way into turn 1 and get ready to go back green flag racing here at the Auto Club Speedway. Just a few laps to go here until the end of stage number 1. We'll have that checked out for you as we get ready to go back in just a lap here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. Once again, my name is James McCombs. I am so excited to bring you guys coverage of this event. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the broadcast and the race here in race number 1 of 20 on the schedule here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. If you are, please make sure to drop a like and show your support for these awesome drivers. A lot of pro leaguers and a few newbies making their way into the series for this year in the Valor Racing League. Make sure you guys show your support for the Racing League, not only in these Tuesday Night Cup Series races, but also in the Monday Night Xfinity Series races. Sorry for the voice crack there, where you guys will get the chance to check out some of the prospect drivers and some of these other guys who are getting in there to have some fun and show off what they can do. Making our way through the field here, checking out where everyone is on the racetrack is Fluffy. Heads into the restart zone and leads these guys back down to the green flag. Now the number 4 gets a better jump this time around in 3rd versus where he was in 2nd earlier on. Then number 4, Mobile 1, Ford Mustang, gets the chance to run down into corner number 1 in 2nd. And he's going to clear the number 38 machine of Slade G84 as they drive down into turn number 1 and out of turn number 2. Now, Fluffy gets the run off the corner. He is showing so far that he's got the superior race car with a great custom setup on that machine. No one's been able to get up to him and have a chance to pass him alongside of one of these restarts. And even then, I don't think anyone's gotten the chance of getting up to him on these restarts. He's showing that he's got one of the quickest cars on the track, possibly the best custom setup of any of these guys in the garage, and I'm sure he won't be giving away his secrets anytime soon. Now making their way down into turn number 1, some side-by-side action for 3rd as Slade tries to get back under the number 77 Chevy Camaro. That's the Advent Health machine. Coming out of turn number 2, he's going to clear Birdster, and Birdster's going to give him a little bit of help now down the backstretch. The draft helps out big, and outside line pulling ahead. Slade stuck now back in 4th position as Birdster almost clears him heading into 3, and indeed he does. He clears him for 4th, and now the battle for the lead ensues. Here comes the number 4, as they come out of turn number 4. He's going to have a shot here of taking the lead away. That outside lane still pushing hard, but now Birdster going to give his Ford Mustang manufacturer some help as they drive down into turn 1. Slade can't quite get up to this top 4 right now, but I'm sure he'll get there soon. Fluffy uses that outside line to surge ahead with a great run off the corner and some help from the number 77 as they roll down the backstretch. Now a challenge for second as that 77 machine gets a chance to clear the number 4, and he does. Mike gets cleared for cleared for second by the number 77 of Max Boost, who we haven't talked about much tonight. Look for him to be a factor as he's shown he can use that outside line to his advantage and is really pushing for the lead now as he is pushing that number 77 machine down to the low line and into corner number 1 underneath Fluffy. Will he get some help? I'm not quite sure. Here it looks like Mike in the number 4 is going to hold on that outside line. And some more help from the number 10 of Birdster is going to cement the 77's fate as they move down the back straightaway. The number 38 of Slade, G84, uses that high line as well, but now Mike G is going to pull low, knowing he's got some help on that inside line to try and make a pass as they drive through turn number 3 and out of turn number 4. Really get the run. It looks like Birdster is going to push that number 17 machine back out front, and some contact is made between the 2 more Ford Mustangs. And it looks like that's the end of stage number 1. These guys did such a great job racing all the way to the end of the stage. Only a couple of caution flags meant that these guys got a lot of green flag action up front, including a lot of phenomenal racing there. And now we're going to get ready for the beginning of stage number 2 just momentarily. Once again, my name is James McCombs, the voice of the Valor Racing League Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. We'll be right back for the beginning of stage number 2 here in the Valor Racing League. Getting ready for the start of stage number 2 as these guys get back down and ready for the green flag in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. They are back down green as they get to the Geico restart zone and mash on the gas. Coming out of turn number 4 and down to the start-finish line. Fluffy leads the way once again as the 77 machine drops up high. Coming out of corner number 1 and now rolling into the middle of the corner. These guys are really pushing it on that low line. Everyone trying to get to where they want to be. Here comes the number 10 of Birdster. He's going to challenge the number 17, looking low down the backstretch. Does he have a run to try and make a pass in turn 3? We know that Smithfield Ford Mustang is fast. And oh no, a wreck down the back straightaway. That's going to include a bunch of race cars, including McLovin Racing. The number 95 machine of Brennan is involved. The number 18 is in it. Some other guys got some damage. And it looks like the caution flag will be called momentarily here as we get back down to the start-finish line. Continuing to go for the moment, and now the caution flag is waved as these guys back down to the start-finish line. We'll now get a chance for everyone else to catch up. A giant wreck on the back straightaway, just like you said, Cyber K Bionic 84. And again, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Everyone else going to try and catch up here as we saw a crazy wreck on the backstretch. We'll have to look and see what the damage is like on some of these race cars to see who got involved in that one. The number 6 of Baron 802 looks like he was involved slightly. We saw the 00 in there along with the number 18 M&M's Minis machine that we haven't talked about too much tonight. The number 2 was involved as well along with the number 32. I think the 22 got a little bit of that one. The 88 was involved as well. That is a long list of race cars to get involved in a caution early on. That is Mo Pow Celtics that got involved in that one in the number 88 machine. We saw him in a spin earlier on, and Brennan was also involved in one, but it looks like he was able to get away with it. Both of them were actually due to a caution that happened on the Speedway, so we'll look to see these guys make their way down pit road now. The number 17 machine, and some guys decide to stay out. The number 4 of Mike, and the number 19, along with the 48 and the number 12. None of them were involved in the wreck, and they all decide to stay out there on the racetrack after only one lap of green flag racing on their tires. I have a feeling that these guys don't think they can make it on fuel, and so they're going to push, knowing that everyone's going to have to stop again. But some of these other guys might be trying to make it all the way on one more can of fuel. So they're going to make their way down pit lane to see what they can do. See the number 17, Fluffy, the first man to let everyone on a pit lane. We'll look to see what he decides to do here, whether he takes 2 tires, 4 tires, who else decides to take certain strategies, and whether someone's going to be able to beat Fluffy off the pit lane for the first time tonight. The 9 machine does, along with the 14. Those two guys took 2 tires. We know that Fluffy took 4. The 2 might have also taken 2, and he's going to lead these guys now off of pit lane as they get back onto the racing surface. Everyone else making their way off pit lane. And it looks like Max Boost 27 hit the wrong gear on the restart, and that'll definitely hurt your transmission over the course of a race and definitely cost you a little bit there, but you got a lot of time to recover from it. Big Jim, this is a 50% race. We'll only be running 100 laps. Right now, we're just beginning of stage number 2, which means we're only going to be just about 32 laps into this event as we continue to go along here. Crunch from last night's lap. Unfortunately, that is very, very true. A lot of these guys had some crunched up front ends. Now the leader of the race, Fluffy, sitting back in the 8th position on the racetrack as these guys all start to sit up now with one another. Look to see where everyone pulls on the racetrack. The number 17 of Fluffy going to take the 3rd row on the outside line as all these other guys decide to make their way here into the choose rule and get back up towards the front of the pack. Now your new leader, after not coming down pit lane, the number 4 machine, Mike RPM 44, in his number 4 Mobile 1 Ford Mustang. A lot of F's in that sentence right there. We continue along now. 4 guys decided to stay on the track. The number 4, the number 19 machine also decided to keep that car off of pit road. The number 48 machine kept it off of pit road along with the number 12. Everyone else made their way on to pit lane, either 2 or 4 tires, and everyone will be looking to see what they can do with what they've put onto the race car. It'll be great to see these guys in action, see what they can get the chance to do here as we get restarted after that lap 1 crash on stage 2. We get the chance to see what these guys can do heading back down into turn 1. These rocket ships are getting ready to take off once more here in the Valor Racing League Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Getting ready to go back green flag racing. Mike RPM leads them back down to the Geico restart zone and back down to the green flag here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. We're back racing, folks. Number 48 is going to give him quite a bit of a push as they head down into corner number 1, and that's going to push him past the 19. Here comes the number 9 of Big D as well, back down into the corner. Will the number 19 machine try and get a run? That's Diesel trying to get a run on the high line down the backstretch with a push from the 14 through the draft of Jason. Looks like that high line will prevail. The number 19 tries to get a push out to second. The 48 gets a chance. He's going to use that apron for the first time tonight, just like I mentioned a little bit earlier. Can come in handy. Not going to help out the number 48 machine there. That is Runner trying to get by on that inside line, not making it happen, and now they're 3 wide for 3rd, back down into corner number 1. The 9 up high, the 14 of Jason in the middle, and the 48 down low, holding it on that white line with everything he's got. He got a little bit loose there. That's going to allow the number 14 machine. He gets sucked up, and now it looks like another wreck. Down the back straightaway, it looks like a huge caution. Some guys were able to evade it, but the number 43 of Coach Matt is involved in that one. The 37 of Giggity gets all wrapped up in it in his Energizer machine. McLovin Racing involved possibly as well. The 42 is involved in that one. And, of course, the number 48 machine, who we just mentioned a moment ago, involved in that wreck. That was Runner, who qualified this race in 20th from a 39.685 after screwing up his qualifying lap. All these other guys were able to stay on the racetrack without getting in any issues. They were able to evade the wreck or got minor damage. Looks like the 32 might have gotten a little bit scuffed up in that one. We're looking to see who that is. Some of these guys, it really worked out for them, staying out off of pit lane. Others, not necessarily. That's 9 in the number 12 Advanced Auto Parts machine. He was able to take advantage of staying out on the track. Only lost 2 spots with those older tires on the restart. Definitely helped him out quite a bit. Seems like on these restarts, these guys are going to try and take that inside line. So watch out for these guys to continue to do that as we go along on these restarts. Already 2 wrecks in stage number 2 here. More cautions than I think these guys were used to by just a little bit, but all of the racing happening at a very, very high level. You can tell these Pro League guys are definitely doing everything in their power. They're running very competitively with one another. And as we saw a little bit earlier on, these guys pushing and pushing, maybe pushing a little bit too hard here early on in the run. I'm not sure they're able to get too many passing opportunities later on in a stage, though, and so they're trying to take advantage of looks where they are, no matter how small they are, and it might be trying to jam a square peg into a round hole from time to time. We'll be looking to see what these guys decide to do here on pit road. Once again, everyone decides to make their way down onto pit lane. Everyone getting service done to their Mustangs, Camaros, and Camrys as we continue to move along here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. Some guys coming out of their pit stalls a little bit earlier. The 17, not one of those drivers. Some of these guys electing for 2, some electing for 4, and others making repairs. And you can see where these guys got out of pit lane in order right now. There's your top 5. It looks like the number 12 machine got out 5th with Birdster, and 4th Fluffy in 3rd in that number 17 machine. The number 9 of Big Destroyer came out in 2nd, and the number 19 machine came out in 1st. That's Diesel. Started this race in 7th. Used some pit strategy to get out front, and certainly it's helped them out to this point. Taking just a quick break as these guys order back up and get ready to get the choose rule into effect once again. Getting ready for yet another restart here in the Valor Racing League, Pocono Racing Cup Series California Dreaming 200 at Auto Club Speedway. I'll be right back when the choose rule gets into effect, and we'll take some analysis on that before we get ready to go green flag racing once again here at Auto Club Speedway in SoCal. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Saw the choose rule go into effect there. Some of those guys who were running a little bit further back, 5th, 6th, 7th, getting the chance to move up there in the high lane and get into these 1st and 2nd rows. We'll see how it fares for them. That high line's been a favorite of these guys past lap number 1 and even down the backstretch on a restart. That inside line, though, gets such a big jump on these restarts that it's hard not to want it. It'll be interesting to see how these guys shake out once again on the restart. Now they make their way into turn 3 side by side. Now a little bit of contact there between Fluffy and the number 18 machine. Maybe that was intentional, maybe not. I'm sure maybe just a little bit of tension here between these guys as they try and stay off of one another. Now 2 big wrecks have brought the caution flag out twice in a row. We'll be looking to see what these guys can do on this restart. Whether they decide to give each other a little bit more space this time around, or whether they decide to go on to each other one more time as we get yet another restart here in stage number 2. The number 19 of Diesel, Rothgeb, leads them back down to green in the number 19 machine. As they make their way towards turn number 1, a big push is going to put that number 9 machine of Big D into 2nd. Fluffy's going to challenge the number 10 of Birdster for 3rd, and he'll get it quite easily. That number 38 of Slade G trying to look low on Birdster coming out of turn 2. Birdster slides up into the outside line where the number 12 machine welcomes him with some not-so-open arms. He's going to get a chance to try and pass him heading into turn 3. Not quite going to get clear of him. That's another guy we haven't talked about much today. And number 12, Ford Mustang of Saints, trying to get the run out of turn number 4 to stay in front of Birdster. And now, with a push from Slade down the front stretch, he almost gets there. Now Fluffy with a fast Ford Mustang, looking low, heading down into turn 1 to challenge Big D for 2nd. He's going to get underneath him here, and with some help from Birdster on that low line, tries to get by in turns 1 and 2. Does he have him cleared? He does, and now he's going to look even lower on the racetrack. Not quite going to see anything there. Slides back in line while the hole is open in front of Big D, and now tries to get by Diesel. Rothgeb for the lead heading into turn 3. They are side by side for 3rd on back, and continuing on into that 2nd pack of race cars. Diesel keeps the low line secure, but secure enough. Almost got the nose under for Fluffy there, but not quite able to get anything going. Birdster takes 3rd away there from Big D, and now tries to look low on Fluffy for 2nd. Different entrance angle, didn't quite help him out there. Fluffy's going to get a good run through turns 1 and 2, though. He's got that car tuned up just like he wants it. Uses the inside line and gets the run off the corner. The draft won't help the 19 now, and it looks like the number 10 is going to help out the number 17 heading into turn number 3. Everyone's got themselves single file from 7th on back, now 9th on back, 12th on back. These guys have started to get a little more single file, but now Birdster's going to look low on Diesel. That Ford Mustang nose very wide and very pretentious. He is pushing it with everything he can to try and get underneath the number 19, heading into 1, and Birdster's got the move put down on him. He's going to take 2nd away from Diesel. Diesel's starting to lose a couple of spots here. Will he be able to slide back into line? Will the inside line continue to prevail? It looks like the 9 got such a good run out of turn number 2, but not able to hold on to it. Diesel looks back low on that number 10 of Birdster, heading into turn number 3 now. Looks like the 12 trying to hold on to his own on the outside line, not getting much help. But will the outside line prevail on the front stretch? No, the inside line gets the run once again as these guys make their way all the way down to that apron. Perfectly capable of passing there. In fact, Kevin Harvick used it as a way to pass Jimmy Johnson here back in, I believe, 2011 in his number 29 Chevy Impala back for Richard Childress Racing in the day of the Gen 5 car. Looks like these cars are getting a chance to pass just as much using that outside line as the inside line today. These custom setups allow for some much more fluid racing and some outside-inside line action as now Diesel makes a beautiful move, splitting the middle there and the back straightaway, getting by the number 10 of Birdster and now looking low on the number 17 of Fluffy as they head back down for the front straightaway. Diesel's going to get a push there from Birdster, who clips the grass on the front stretch. He'll lose some momentum. Here comes the number 9 and the number 88, two Chevy Camaros. That's Big D in the number 9 machine, pushing the number 17 of Fluffy. They're dead even, driving through corners 1 and 2 for the lead. Down the back straightaway, still side by side. The outside line looks like it's going to prevail here, and Fluffy gets the chance to move back out front, and the number 9 of Big D in second. Now Diesel going to push it back down into 3. The left side's right on the white line. Trying to use a little bit of the rotation you get from clipping that apron while being able to gas it out of the corner, but not going to get anything there. The number 88 machine's already cleared him now. Alongside of him is the number 10 of Birdster. As the number 9 of Big D is able to push away. And the top 3 now using that high line get by Diesel. Birdster with a beautiful move slips the 3 wide nose in there. Will he have a chance of clearing Diesel? Indeed he does, and now Diesel has no choice but to push him down the back. As you can see, Slade getting a push from the number 77 machine of Max Boost as they drive down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Some of these cars starting to get a little squirrely there. You saw the number 6 Castrol Ford Mustang get a little bit squirrely coming out of turn number 2. Slide down the racetrack. Definitely don't want to have as little grip as you can. You see it happen there with the number 14 as well of Jace. These guys have a little bit less grip as these tires start to get older and older. And this track turns these drivers colder a shoulder. Heading down into corner number 1 now. Diesel continues to fall and fall. We tracked his fall there now. You get a chance to see Celtics in 3rd position, pushing on Big D and Fluffy, with Birdster in 4th and that number 77 machine running in 5th. As they drive it down into corner number 3. These guys have made their way single file once again, and something to note that these quicker speeds from running in the draft and running single file, they help a driver out in terms of lap times, but can really hurt that right front tire. So it's going to be hard to tell whether this is really actually helping these guys or whether it's hurting them more so than anything else. It's tough to tell for the moment, but we do know that the number 10 machine of Birdster trying to look low once again. Unfortunately, not going to have any help down the back straightaway, but help comes in the form of Big D, who takes that inside line. He's going to hold the 10 of Birdster at bay heading into turn number 3, and now the number 77 gets his nose underneath the 88 machine, heading through turns 3 and 4. Back down the front straightaway they go, and here comes Max Boost in that number 77 Advent Health Chevy Camaro. He has a chance to look under Celtics, and indeed he gets there. The 18, another one of these drivers we haven't seen running up there too long tonight. He's finally going to get his chance to crack the top 5. He clears the number 20's front end, and now runs in 6th with a big run through corners 1 and 2. Will he get a chance to look inside of Celtics down the back? We'll find out momentarily. And number 18, DK Brown, we haven't seen a lot from him tonight. Looks outside of Celtics heading into turn 3. He's got the draft from the number 9, and he's going to round that corner beautifully on the outside line. Gets the run off the corner now. Will he have something in there? I'm not quite sure. Almost had a look, but wasn't able to get anything done. One thing to note here is that all these guys side by side racing for second has allowed that number 17 of Fluffy XX2 to drive away from the rest of this pack. And now as long as he puts down some qualifying laps, he's going to have some smooth sailing from here on out, keeping these guys from getting a draft on him. A big move there by Max Boost, getting underneath the number 9 and now the number 10 of Birdster. As he drives down into the corner, that's going to allow him to take second spot away as they drive down into turn number 3. The number 88 of Celtics holds on to third as Birdster falls back to fourth, and here comes the number 20 of Cola Motorsports looking for fourth. He's in fifth right now, got a push from 2 Joe Gibbs Racing teammates on the inside line, as well as the help of Slade G84 and the number 38 machine. All the action happening right here in this pack of race cars, battling for second on back. A little more civil now in the top 5. These guys have got each other put away. Here comes Diesel. Oh, and it looks like the number 88 machine of Celtics nails the inside wall after unfortunately having a hard hit into the inside wall. Did someone else spin out on the back stretch as well? I can't quite tell. Looks like Coach Matt already running far behind the pack due to an earlier incident. Vega Twister, another one of those guys, and the number 32 doing so as well. It looks like the 88, the only one involved in that incident. Everyone else continues to roll along. Max got loose there, and unfortunately, although it doesn't cost him, it costs the number 88 machine big time. There on that run, unfortunate to see, but that's going to thin out this race up front a little bit now. It's going to push Diesel into fourth, the number 18 into third, and I believe the number 20 of Cola into second now, as Fluffy has a firm hand on this lead. No one else able to use that draft to get up to him, at least for the next few laps. And with as long as this green flag run has gone, these guys are going to be trying to stretch it out as long as they can, but they may just have to make it down pit lane for some green flag pit stops. We saw earlier on in stage 2, these guys were able to get on a pit road twice here, so maybe these guys are okay in the fuel cell, and if they are, they might be okay for the whole run. It looks like Marcus Edub in the 42, as I say it, is the first driver to make his way to pit lane. Celtics chooses to stay out on the racetrack, despite hitting that inside wall hard and running now a lot further back. We see these guys battling once again for position as they continue to move along here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. The number 12 machine stuck outside for the moment. We're looking to see whether he can make anything of it. Saints has been a constant fixture here in the top 10. No one wants to go with him though. Max Boost and the number 9 of Big D along with Birdster, all able to get by him on the front straightaway as they head back down into turn number 1 using that inside line. Couple of Joe Gibbs Racing guys sitting second, third, and fourth. Are they going to battle one another here for position, or are they going to try to be more civil, draft off of one another, and try to catch the car in first? The number 17 of Fluffy, who's been so dominant all day long, barely been challenged for the lead. And as we've reached the halfway point in this race just about, it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to slow him down as this race goes along. You can see now why he got the pole. In this race, it looks like the number 10 machine of Birdster gets into the grass there on the front straightaway. He makes his way back up, but it looks like some serious loose handling issues on that race car are going to cause him to drop back big time in the field. You can see him now falling back behind McLovin Racing, down in about the 12th or 13th position on the racetrack, if I'm not mistaken. And he didn't get a good run through turns 1 and 2 either. That's going to cost him a lot. Now the top 10 drive away. You can see McLovin Racing sit in 12th, and that's the 13th spot that the number 10 machine has fallen to. Just a couple more side-by-side battles on the racetrack. You saw Jason on the inside line there through turns 3 and 4, trying to run underneath Mike RPM 44. We saw Mike running up front earlier. Unfortunately, it looks like the last restart didn't deal him such a good hand. Now we'll look to see whether he's got something to give to the rest of these guys up in front of him, or whether he's going to have to hit pit lane, or whether he's been conserving a little bit. Oh, the number 37 machine gets loose coming out of turn number 2. Did he hold on to it? I'm not quite sure. It looks like Giggity was able to hold on there, but he lost a little bit of ground coming out of turn number 2. And definitely burnt up that right rear tire quite a bit as he ran off of turn number 4. Unfortunate to see he lost a couple of spots, but didn't nail the inside wall, and I'm sure that probably helped him out just a little bit. As they now drive through turns 1 and 2. We'll look to see the 18 got a little bit loose possibly there coming out of the corner. Lost a big run through the center of the corner. Will he get the run here on the inside line? Still inside of Diesel now. These guys side by side, 2 back as they drove through the corner now. The number 18 machine gets a run out of corner number 4 on the inside line, but Diesel, using that high line run, is going to naturally get the run up in front as stage 2 comes to a close here. And stage 2 has finally come to a close here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. Something to take note of here, that number 18 machine and the number 20 of Cola Motorsports, both of those guys have had great runs here in stage number 2, showing that those cars can run up near the front of the pack. Here in stage number 2, we'll look to see whether they're going to be factors here when stage number 3 rolls around. Fluffy has been the dominant car so far. A couple of guys just to note, even though they're running further back in the pack due to accidents. Got to make sure you keep an eye on that number 88 machine of Celtics, as well as the number 4 of Mike RPM 44. Now, who is going to be leading these guys back down to green, if I'm not mistaken? Indeed he is, in that Mobile 1 number 4 Ford Mustang. I don't know what he did, but he makes his way up from 12th to 1st. Not quite sure what happened with Mike RPM there, but he's going to lead these guys down into turn 1 with a valiant charge and have the chance here to run down the corner, holding the number 17 of Fluffy at bay. Will this hurt Fluffy coming out of turn 2? It looks like he gets a run down the backstretch with some help from Cola Motorsports pushing, and the number 19 running outside of him. It looks like Mike RPM may not have gotten down pit lane during the caution flag because he's getting swallowed up by these cars with fresher tires. Unfortunately, it looks like that number 4 of Mike RPM falling back through the field doesn't have fresh tires. I'm not sure whether he took 2 on this run during the pit stop, and that could have caused him to try and get the run up front. Unfortunately, these guys have swallowed him up like they're at Talladega. Each line faster with the draft, swallowing him up in the middle of the track, and unfortunately not giving anywhere to merge in. The 48 not going to do so either. Now the number 6 machine falls behind. Finally gets the push from the 95 of Brennan as they head down into turn number 3. And as you can see, a run through of the field as Mike RPM continues to fall back, makes contact with Brennan after sliding up into the corner. His rubbers clearly don't have the grip of everyone else in the field. And now he pulls off onto pit lane here to make his way onto pit road for the first time in stage number 3. An unfortunate break for RPM. It doesn't look like he made his way into pit lane. And now he's going to fall, possibly even a lap down. Bergster in the number 10 machine trying to use that inside line to get by the number 12 machine and the number 9. Oh, it looks like some contact was made there. Down the back as the number 12 got really loose. The 14 of Jason falls back down the backstretch. Heading into turn 3, he's going to slide in behind Mike, as it looks like these top 5 machines have all gotten single file, and Mike starts to drive away from the rest of the pack. Leading up front is the number 17, once again a Fluffy. Someone's really going to have to dethrone this guy if they want to get a chance at victory or use some serious pit strategy to make their way out in front. But these pro leaguers definitely know a thing or two about pit strategy. They're going to try everything they can to outsmart the number 17 of Fluffy in tonight's event. The number 20 machine of Cola Motorsports runs in second for the moment, with the number 19 running in third. That's Diesel. Max Boost 27 runs in fourth right now in that number 77 machine, and the number 18 of DK Brown trying to hold on in fifth. Does he have the draft of Max Boost? I'm not quite sure. Might be running all by his lonesome for the second, but he's trying everything he can to hold on to a possible draft there and scoot up there with the top 4. I'm sure they don't want to get too many side-by-side battles going on here, but P. Cola drives it in deep there as they drive into turn number 1 and out of turn 2. Will he have a run? Who will the 19 side with? It looks like he's going to run that low line, and that's going to be big trouble for the number 17 of Fluffy. The number 77 of Mac Boost holds on to that outside line, but now Cola Motorsports and the number 19 machine running in that low line. They're going to get a chance to get a run through the center of the corner. Side by side for the lead, coming out of turn number 4, it's the number 20 machine of Cola Motorsports. He's going to steal the lead away from him now as they head into turn 1, and now the 17 is going to allow the number 19 to run down second position as the caution flag waves once again. Here in stage number 3, looks like for the first time the caution flag is waved. Pro League versus Pro League hopeful action here. Indeed, Big Jim 11, and it looks like the number 44 machine of Mike G. Finally going to be able to get by. He's going to be the free pass car this time around. Going to get the chance to get back here with the rest of the group. Will he have a chance to get back in this race after having an earlier unfortunate mistake that brought him to go a lap down? Now he's going to have a shot here with his caution coming out to get a chance back to get back here on the green flag run. It looks like the number 17 of Fluffy now sits in second with the number 77 of Max Boost in third, and the number 19 running in fourth with the 18 and fifth P-Cola, excuse me, not P-Cola anymore, Cola Motorsports now is going to be running in first as these guys all make their way onto pit lane. Some of them side by side as they run down pit road. Looking now at that number 20 machine's front end, that's the number 20 of Cola Motorsports. He is going to be pitting first of all of these guys. Will he come out off pit road in first? Who's going to take two tires here? Will anyone? After that green flag run, ran about 7 or 8 laps, these guys are going to want some fresh rubbers, especially as you saw from Mike G, how much grip and speed they carry here at Auto Club Speedway. We'll be looking to see some of these guys already making their way off of pit lane, including the number 77. There's the 18, the 20 of Cola Motorsports. Will he get out in first, or will Fluffy beat him out? We'll check to see here. It looks like Fluffy did beat him out of pit lane. How do you get the lead back in more ways than this? Can you believe it? Fluffy has gotten the lead back away. Cola's in second. Now Max Boost in third. The 17 in fourth. And that number 18 of DK Brown running in fifth. We'll look through the rest of the field here in just a moment. It looks like Mike G, or excuse me, Slade G, sits in 6th position there, with Birdster, if I'm not mistaken, sitting in 7th position at the given moment. And indeed, Destroyer in 8th in that number 99 machine. The number 9 machine sits in 8th with his teammate, the number 48 of Runner, sitting in 9th. Rounding out your top 10 here, it looks just a little bit like it might be the number 2 machine, who we haven't seen much of today, MJO. The number 37 machine of K-Taddy Giggity runs in 11th with the number 88 machine of Celtics running in 12th. 13th is the number 6 machine we haven't talked about a lot tonight. That is Barney. 14th is Brennan, BSS. 15th is Coach Matt, the number 43 machine with the 42. Running in 16th right now, that looks to be Marcus Eda, 21. Running in 17th right now is the 78 machine with the 22 of Jocko, running 18th. And rounding out the rest of the field is the number 88. The number, or excuse me, not the number 88. It looks like he's further up. The number 00 of McLovin Racing, along with the 78, the 14 of Kill It Like Jason, the 32, the 12, and the 4 of Mike RPM. Already back out front, it's that number 17 machine that we've seen so much of so far up front today. It's Fluffy. We'll look to see whether anyone will get the chance to get by him here on this restart. It might be one of the last chances here before long green flag runs may end this race here in stage number 3. The number 17 of Fluffy leads him back down for the restart. The 20 warming up those tires once again, trying to get some pressure. As we know, they've got some high air pressures on these custom setups, all the way up to 60 PSI on those right sides. Even low is 20 or 19 down on the left side to try and help that car rotate while keeping some grip in it on those left sides. Now Fluffy leads them back down to the Geico restart zone and back down to the restart here at Auto Club Speedway, the California Dreamin' 200. Number 77 of Max Boost looks low. He clears the 20 of Cola Motorsports as they head down into turn number 1. And it looks like Slade G84 is going to take third, possibly. Now Cola Motorsports gets the run on the high side with some help from his teammate in Diesel in the number 19. Right now Max Boost in the 17 trying to run away on that high line. Will they get the chance, or will Cola looking high in turn 3, get the run through the corner and get by the number 77 of Max Boost on the straight? Looks like that puts some distance now, about 3 car lengths between himself and number 77. That'll begin to close here on the front stretch. But the number 17 machine of Fluffy holds out front for the moment. Max Boost not wanting to make any moves, although we know he's got a fast number 77 Advent Health Chevy Camaro for Spire Motorsports. who paired up with Premium Motorsports earlier this year to run this machine at Daytona. I got the chance to meet with some of the Premium Motorsports drivers, some of the Premium Motorsports crew and their driver, Brendan Poole, earlier on this season at Auto Club. It was an amazing experience. Brendan Poole, a phenomenal driver. Got a chance to run in the 15 this year. Hopefully he gets a ride in some better equipment next year. Love to see him progress his career as well. But got to talk to him. He talked to me about this racetrack as it looks like a wreck has happened here coming out of turn number 4. It looks to be the number 4 machine of Mike RPM once again. The 42 is also involved though, and this may call for a caution. The number 6 of Baronade also involved. The 12's got some damage on the front end. Marcus E-Dub, 21, who had a good pit stop there, gained a couple spots. Unfortunately for him, not able to get the job done on the restart. Gets into an accident, and now he's going to have to fall all the way to the rear of the field. Coach Matt also involved in that number 43, Worldwide Technology, celebrating 30 years with Bubba. As you can see, that car making its way down the backstretch where the front end is crunched in as a crunch bar, which I'm craving right now, although I'm going to be having some leftover Chinese for dinner instead. We'll look to see these guys make their way to pit road this time by as they make their way through turn number 3. But I was talking just a second before my chance of meeting Brendan Poole in that number 15 machine. Like I said, a great driver. Had some success in the Xfinity Series, a win at Talladega in 2017 with Ganassi Racing. And he talked to me about the intricacies of this racetrack. Inside line. You don't want to run your tires off. Unfortunately, getting a little bit loose when those tires hit the crevices here on this old abrasive surface. But these guys are going to get the chance to try and run in those lanes. As you can see, those lines coming through the corners and on the making up 2, 3, 4, and 5, even 6 lanes getting all the way up to the wall. And that allows some of this great 5-wide to their advantage and get a chance with the draft to get some runs on some guys even on the inside line. We've seen it happen several times today. It was one of the few times that Fluffy got overtaken on the racetrack and not in pit road earlier on. Mike RPM 44 did not make his way to pit lane. Everyone else makes their way back out onto the racetrack, and now we'll look to see what that strategy does for Mike RPM, who made his way onto pit road a little bit earlier in stage 3 after not being able to before the stage 2 pit lane cutoff. And now we'll look to see as he leads this group back down to the choose rule area on the front straightaway right there at the line. We'll look to see who decides to take the inside or outside line. I would imagine that this is going to be Fluffy's best chance here to really prove that he can do well in dirty air if he wants to take that inside line. But if he doesn't and decides to go for the outside line instead, he will have a chance to pass the number 4. He's not going to get as good of a run. Those older tires are going to get a little bit of wheel spin on him, not as much grip, and that could result in a bad restart for Mike RPM, so watch for that. This front area is going to be a great spot to watch, and as you can see, Fluffy not wanting to deal with it, he's going to take the outside line here. Likely to go with that on the restart. We'll look to see what he can do now with the 77 of Max Boost's help, as these guys now use that choose rule to figure out where they want to be here on the restart. Mike RPM leads the way. A lot of familiar faces up. Max Boost, Diesel, Fluffy. You can see Big D back up there now. DK Brown is up there. Slade's been a little bit of a theme up front all day long, and it looks like a little bit of mayhem happening under the caution flag here as that 00 machine of Cola, not Cola, the 00 machine of McLovin Racing spun in the middle of turns 1 and 2 on the grass as these guys make their way now up to the grid, getting ready for the beginning of stage number 2, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like that 00 is pulling up very quick, maybe deciding to run a little bit further back. You think we'd race at Martinsville looking at these front ends, I know, right? A lot of these guys with a lot of front end damage, but unfortunately, NASCAR Heat 5 can't quite fix their game, and so a lot of this damage will show up on these guys' screens, a lot of rear damage as well, even though it's already been fixed on pit lane. You can bet these guys have done everything they can to fix it in these last few pit stops. So we've got Mike RPM in the number 4 machine, leading these guys back down to green, hitting the Geico restart zone. A couple of guys pull off into pit lane. And do they decide to give green this time? It doesn't look like they do. Unfortunately, it looks like now some of these other guys are making their way back onto pit road after an incident on the caution flag, and also to make repairs on their cars once again. So one more green flag lap is turned into a caution flag lap here in stage number 3 as the runs continue. Well, it looks like the 78 already down pit lane. Vega Twister on pit lane as well. Haven't talked a lot about him tonight in his unsponsored number 32 Ford Mustang for Go Fast Racing. That team just closed up shop this year at the conclusion of the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series season, but they stayed wide and open here virtually for us here in the Valor Racing League in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series, as he gets the option to run that machine tonight. And so we get more Go Fast Racing cars on the racetrack every single week here for the next 20 weeks. It's going to be very, very exciting to see that machine run over and over again here, racing for points, trying to scoop up a win later on in the season once that team has gained some momentum. Once again, Mike RPM leading this group back down to the green flag, coming out of turn number 4 in just a moment's notice. We'll be at the Geico restart zone. We'll get ready to go green flag racing once again here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. They hit the restart zone, and we're back down to the green flag. And unfortunately, it looks like the wheel spin on Mike RPM's machine is going to allow the number 17 to almost get by him. But unfortunately, Mike RPM takes advantage of that inside line, and the number 17 of Fluffy's not going to be able to use that high line to his advantage, at least in the middle of the corner. Now coming out of turn 2, though, gets a big run. He's going to push Mike RPM to the bumper down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Will he loosen him up into the corner? Not quite. Lets off just a little bit. Now he uses that high line. The middle of the corner, they're dead even between himself and Diesel, and now he's going to get the run off that high end. Looks low, and a beautiful 3-wide maneuver now. Does he have the run to get by Diesel? Not quite. The move might not pan out as the number 77 runs down into turn number 1 right behind Diesel, who looks for the lead. The number 17 powers into that middle lane between this 3-car split, and he's going to steal the lead away anyway. What a power move. Although it was an entire lap, it was poetry in motion for that pass on the number 17 of Fluffy. 4 total corners it took, but man, does he have a fast machine. No one's going to be able to get by him at this rate. He's just got something at this racetrack that no one else is able to find. And man, is that 17 really hooked up to the racetrack. He's got some grip, he's got plenty of speed, and he's got the lead back away from the rest of these guys as now Mike RPM continues to lose ground. And a chance to see some of these guys running with him here on the inside line as now he takes a look to try and get back by Big D in the middle of the corner. As Big Destroyer in the number 9 Universe Chevy Camaro. Number 4 of Mike RPM tried to push Slade. Didn't get much help there from him. Slade took the outside line to help out DK Brown going into the corner. The number 4 is still going to have a nose on DK Brown, but Slade makes it through without a problem. Cola stuck on the outside line. He gets some help on the straightaways. Unfortunately, not quite able to get that same help in the corners. And now you see Birdster stuck up there with him. That's going to allow Big D and Slade G84 to run down that inside line and try and get by in the corners here. Clear Cola and Birdster. Will they get the shot? Not quite. The look isn't quite there. You see the 42 getting the wall coming out of turn number 2, and someone else got a little bit loose there. The car's getting squirrely already, even with some fresher rubbers as they head into turn number 3. A battle for the lead now as the number 19 tries to work around Fluffy. Does he have a shot heading out of turn number 4? He's got a push from the 77. Fluffy doesn't quite have the help on the outside, and I'm sure no one wants to help him now. The number 19 of Diesel, the number 17 of Fluffy. Down into turn number 1 they go. Fluffy can't quite clear him. Here comes Diesel with some help now from Birdster, even though the 77 got a big push from the 20, who gave the number 17 a big push as well. Fluffy gets the run off the corner, and Diesel is forced to relinquish his battle for the lead. He falls back to 2nd. And the number 77 is relinquished to 3rd position. The 19 not quite done yet, though. Uses those left side tires, fresh as they can be, all the way down to that white line. And now gets another look down the front stretch. Here comes the 77. Now once again pushing on that low line. Trying to promote some side-by-side racing as now he works with the 17 heading down into turn number 1. Will that work out for him? Diesel gets a run through the center of the corner. But it looks like the 17 is going to get the run off with that high line. The 77 still keeping on that high line, and now it looks like he's going to get a run on Diesel down the back. Side drafting coming into effect just a little bit here. Oh, and almost some contact made. The 19 had to check up there as the 77 cleared him. Now the 77 looking inside of the number 17 machine of Fluffy coming out of 4, but not quite able to get anything done there. He's forced to relinquish his title of one of the fastest cars on the track, at least for a moment now, as he didn't get the run out of 4th. Cola has moved his way up to 4th. We can see Big D running in 5th. And it looks like a car coming off of pit road after Marcus C-Dub scratched the wall a few times. Unfortunately, some serious damage on that race car. It looks like Coach Matt was able to get back onto the racetrack. Whether he was the one that came to pit road or not, I do not know. It looks like Slade, though, has been involved in an incident that has left Jocko on the inside apron in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Unfortunate to see is that AAA Insurance Ford Mustang having a solid points lead, but not quite able to get the ball rolling. We'll look to see whether these guys call a caution or whether they stay green here in turn 3. It looks like as they head into turn 1, everyone slows down. The caution flag has been called once again, and Jocko will get the chance to get back out front. Vega Twister, who was on pit road when the caution flag was called and was in front of the start-finish line, is going to get a chance to get back by these guys now. Good for him as he just made some serious pit strategy advantage for himself. Gets on to pit road, finishes his stop, and now it looks like he's going to have a chance to be able to get back by these guys if the rule set is correct, to get right back on by the group in front of him. He might take the outside line to do it. We'll look to see. Does Vega Twister come out of turn number 2 and pass by these guys? It looks like he might have some trouble coming out of turn number 2. He may be on the inside wall right now. I'm not quite sure. We're going to have to get back by to him, and it looks like indeed some damage on that inside wall that he hit, and that's unfortunate to see. The damage on the front end of that machine, it's going to cost him big time, because now he's going to have to come back down to pit lane. Not quite sure whether he's going to get his lap back or not after being on pit road when the caution flag came out. We'll look to see in just a moment, does he fall back behind this group, and indeed he does. So he loses a lap to the rest of the field. All the rest of the crew on the wall as their drivers make their way down pit road towards their stalls. Look to see everyone making their way onto pit lane. Fluffy was in the lead. Now Coach Matt finally making his way onto pit road in his number 43 Worldwide Technology 30 years Chevy Camaro. 17 of Fluffy still sits up front for now. We'll look to see whether anyone can beat him off pit road this time by everyone making their way out of their stalls, as you see off in the distance, coming closer and closer. But Fluffy is the man of the hour, gets out first with the number 77 machine in second. It looks like Cola might have gotten out in third. We'll look to see. Looks like Cola got out third. The number 17 of Diesel might have gotten out fourth there. It looks like he did. The number 9 machine of Big D got out fifth. The number 10 of Birdster got out sixth, with the number 6 machine coming out in 7th. That leaves the 88 coming out in 8th. The 00 of McLovin Racing coming out in 9th. And MJO 1803 coming out in 10th. The number 37 machine came out 11th that time around. That is K Taddy Giggity. Killer Like Jason came out 12th on that one. Looks like the 78 machine of Jose came out 13th, or excuse me, number 48 machine of Runner came out 13th. Jose in 14th. Brennan in 15th. Looks like after that, the number 4 of Mike, or excuse me, is that Mike RPM? Indeed it is. The number 4 of Mike RPM 16th. The number 42 came out 17th there. That is Marcus Eda. 18th is the number 22, Jocko, who was the cause of the caution. 19th is the number 12 machine, who qualified a lot better than he's running right now, I believe. No, actually, Saints qualified 18th. DK Brown right now running further back there, and it looks like the number 38 machine of Slade behind him. Vega Twister, unknown of where his current position is. Coach Matt running right behind him on the track as we get ready. There you can see the We Stand with Bubba Worldwide Technology celebrating 30 years as they come down the back straightaway now. Everyone has already gotten their assignments for where they want to be on the restart here. We'll look to see where these guys decided to take their lines as they get ready for yet another restart here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. Once again, my name is James McCombs as we get ready for the restart in Stage 3. If you guys like the broadcast so far, if you like what you've seen, make sure to drop a like here for the Valor Racing League YouTube channel. Also, make sure to comment whenever you can. If you do enjoy the broadcast and want to get involved, I'll be sure to read those comments as the race continues to go along. And make sure to subscribe to the channel for our weekly Monday and Tuesday night races. Here we can see Fluffy in the number 17 leading this group back down to the Geico restart zone and back down to the green flag as they get down towards the start-finish line, making their way up through the gears. The number 77 machine, the closest competitor so far today to the 17 of Fluffy. We'll see what Max Boost can do. It'll be a story if he can pull out the victory today, starting this one from 21st after missing qualifying. McLovin and Jocko also notables that disqualifying right now, currently running outside of the top three. McLovin, though, running in fifth. Someone to keep an eye on in that 00 machine. Back down into turn number 3 now for the first time on some fresh rubbers. The 17 of Fluffy gets a chance here coming out of turn number 4 to stretch out his advantage over the 77, but that draft will not allow it. Here comes Max Boost with a little bit of help there from the number 88, who we mentioned to keep an eye on. Running well earlier in this race, that's Celtics, who finally, he's gotten a chance to make his way back up into the top 5 and is showing that his car is as fast as it's been all day long. Cola still runs in 4th, having a very consistent day in the number 20 machine in the second half of this race, showing that he's come to play. And even though he doesn't have any experience in the Pro League, if I'm not mistaken, he is showing right now that his custom setups are great. Oh, some contact coming into turn number 3 there between the number 2 machine. That looked to be MJO and the number 4 machine as well. That was Mike. Unfortunate to see there. Those guys are now making some contact with each other. Now here comes the 77 running the high line. The 88 is going to get a chance to run that high line with him now through the center of the corner. Who will Celtics go with as they make their way through turns 1 and 2? Will he get a run down the backstretch there? Who is going to help out the number 77 up high? Will Cola Motorsports run that high line and get back by Celtics? Indeed he will. Looks like right now Celtics going to help Max Boost down the front stretch. Cola not going to get the draft he wants. Now he's going to be hung out to dry unless he can stuff that Camry, right into 3rd place. And it looks like he's going to be able to do so. Restricts the number 77's ability to get up high there after he was trying his very best to hold on, and that's going to keep the 77 of Max Boost from making a move, at least for now. Cybercade Bionic mentions last PRCS season, that would be Pocono Raceway Cup Series season, where there was a battle between Max and Fluffy. Will they get another shot at a nice battle for the lead here to end things? We're going to find out soon enough. These guys are doing everything in their power right now to run these cars as hard as they possibly can. It looks like a wreck in turns number 3 and 4 will make that a much harder occurrence. We saw some guys there in turns 3 and 4 with some damage, including the number 37 machine, and it looks like the caution flag is flown once again. These guys will get yet another chance to get some fresh rubbers and some good Sunoco racing fuel for these engines and these race cars. Some tough damage there on the number 37 machine, and we saw a couple of other drivers involved in that one as well. Vega Twister involved in that wreck. The 37, like I mentioned, and one other car in the rear catching up as well. It looks like that is, if I'm not mistaken, that is Vega Twister. Yes, indeed it is. He is going to get the free pass this time around, and he is going to make his way back around the rest of this field to get his lap back, and now he'll have the chance to get back up into this lead pack on the next restart if he really, really works at it. That's going to leave the 37 machine in 21st and Saints in the number 12 in 22nd. Jocko sits in 20th with Coach Matt in 19th. Brennan in 18th. Jose in 17th. The number 2 machine runs in 16th for the moment as everyone makes their way down on the pit lane. Vega Twister is going to be far behind these guys, but he's going to get a shot to get back up to this lead group if he possibly can, or at least try and salvage some points after running consistent so far today. That wreck earlier really put him in a pickle and put him a lap down whenever he got screwed on pit road with some strategy. Now he'll have a chance to finally get back up to the lead pack with a little bit of a miracle. It seems like it's going to be a miracle today to pass XX Fluffy, XX2. We know he's an experienced racer, was in this race last year and had a shot at the win. Not quite sure whether he took it or not. Cyber, you're going to have to tell me a little bit about that when I wasn't here last year. I'm very new to the Valor Racing League, but this is my first race, and I hope that it's going as well at home as I feel like it's going up here in the booth. I should say my bedroom in Las Vegas, Nevada. There you can see the top 5 and how they came out. Fluffy out front with Max Boost in second, P-Cola in third. The number 19 machine running in fourth, and Celtics falls back to fifth with Flovin in sixth, Big D in seventh, Birdster in eighth, the number 6 machine, who we haven't talked much about earlier on in this race. We mentioned him, but that's Baronate 02 running in 9th and killing it like Jason running in 10th. Runner running in 11th in that number 48 machine, and it looked like it was DK Brown running in 12th in that M&M Minis. Number 18, Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota Camry. That's your top 12 with Slade running in 13th, and it looks like for the moment, Marcus Edub in the 42 machine running in 14th. 15th right now is that number 4 machine of Mike RPM. Jose running in 16th. Running in 17th is MJO. Running in 18th is Coach Matt. Right now, Brennan runs in 19th with Jocko in 20th. Saint running in 21st. 22nd right now, I believe. Sits, if I'm not mistaken there, that would be the other dark car with a double-digit number that is not McLovin that I haven't been able to see so far. There he is, the number 37 machine. Runs in 22nd right now. That is Biggity. And 23rd, back on the lead lap now. Has a chance to gain some more points in this race is Vega Twister 24. You see him taking that high line. Less cars up in that high line. We'll look to see what he decides to make of that, as these guys do everything they can to get some points later on in this race and maybe, just maybe, try and steal a win away from X Fluffy, X2. We know that he's run so well in this race so far. We'll look to see whether he's got a little extra for these drivers as the run comes to a little bit of a close now. Will these guys have a chance to get by that fast Ford Mustang with a Roush engine, the number 17 machine? Lap number 93 of 100 right now when they come down to the line. Just 7 laps to go, as Fluffy is going to lead them back down to the Geico restart zone in just a minute here. Back down off of turn number 4, these drivers go. Now Fluffy coming out of turn number 4 in his Roush Motorsports Ford Mustang leads him down for the restart once again here, maybe for the last time in the California Dreamin' 200. Everyone has got some great rubbers on these cars now, trying to fight for that inside line, fight for some real estate. Already guys making some contact, heading down towards turn number 1. On lap 94, that number 77 is going to have 1 or 2 opportunities, max boost that is, to get a chance at the number 17 machine. Coming down now into turn number 3, Fluffy still leads the way. A battle for third between Big D and the number 20 of Cola is ensuing, and that might mean that the number 77 could be all alone in the second here with Fluffy with 1 shot and making his move. Now on to lap 95 of 100. Just 6 laps remaining here in this last few laps. It's going to be a great shootout to the finish here at Auto Club Speedway. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the event so far. The best is yet to come here in the last 6 laps of racing. Now 5.5 as the number 77 Advent Health Chevy Camaro uses that Hendrick engine to try and push right to the rear bumper of Fluffy heading into turn number 3. Cola has made himself another target to the back of the number 17 machine as they come out of turn number 4, closing in on the 77 of Fluffy, using that draft as everyone else is pulled away. Fluffy up front, max boost in second, and now it looks like the 20 of P. Cola has made himself inseparable to getting a chance at running for the win in his Toyota Racing Development Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. Coming out of turn number 2, already on lap 96, these guys still battling for position from 5th on back. Big D looks like he might be too far back to make an impact. More of the same for Diesel running in 5th. And those guys side by side from there battling for position. Up front, Fluffy still running flawless corners 2, 3, and 4, getting such a good run off these corners that it's hard for that number 77 machine to get a shot at making a pass. He's closing in on the rear bumper though, making an early move, looking low, heading down into corner number 1 now on lap 97, 4 to go. down into the corner. Some contact made there between the 17 of Fluffy and the 77 of Max Boost. Who is the 20 going to help coming out of corner number 2? He looks to try and make it 3 wide. Not going to help on the outside, but now looks inside. 3 wide for the lead, heading down into turn number 3. And now it's just a 2-car race for the lead, heading down into the corner. Cola Motorsports got the look low, and on a very impressive move and a 3 wide dive down the backstretch. He's going to get a shot here to steal the win away. Now on to lap 98, 3 laps remaining as Fluffy looks low on P. Cola Motorsports heading back down into the corner. He's going to look low once again. The lead may change hands here in corners 1 and 2. The left side's close to that apron, and a big run out of the number 17 Ford Mustang. Ford, a Toyota, and a Chevy. Couldn't be more fitting. Lap 98 of 100 here, just a couple more to go. Max Boost is going to support Fluffy there into the corner. He's going to use that draft now to try and push him out to the lead and get his own shot at moving up there with Fluffy. Fluffy got a little wide coming out of the corner, almost got into the outside wall there, and now you see Max Boost trying to draft. Picola's going to get a draft here, though, as well from that number 17 machine. That'll suck him up to second, heading into the corner. Cola Motorsports is going to have 1 or 2 more shots at him. The jabs are done. Now, the haymakers need to be thrown by these drivers with a lap and a half to go. Max Boost sits in third, the 20 of Cola Motorsports in second. Fluffy back out up front, diving down into the corner. The 20 backs it up a little bit. He's going to try and get a little bit of a run on Fluffy heading down the front stretch with some help from Max Boost. Will he get it? He might have a strong chance at it here. They take the high lane, at least he tried. Can Cola look low? He's got something. Heading into the corner, the number 20. The nose looks low, heading into the white flag as they dive it down into corner number 1. Fluffy drives it in deep. Cola with the same intensity, trying to hold on. Who is Max Boost going to help down the back? He's going to look low. He's going to help Cola. Cola rubs the right rear fender, keeps the run from going. Now down into turn 3, side by side for the win. Here comes Fluffy on the high line. P. Cola down low. The number 77 of Max Boost gives the number 17 a run. Coming out of turn number 4, they're side by side. Who's it going to be at the line? Fluffy is going to take the win in amazing fashion here in the California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway. What a finish! Less than half a car length separated the number 17 of Fluffy from the 20 machine of Cola Motorsports, and the 77 of Max Boost was not far behind. What a finish! What a race! Here to open the season in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series in the Valor Racing League. I cannot believe it. A phenomenal race for these drivers and a great finish in tonight's event. Looking at your top 10 here after the finish of that event. Fluffy takes the win with Cola in second, Max Boost in third. Big Destroyer finishes 1 in fourth in the number 9 machine, with Birdster coming in fifth in the number 10 machine. Mopawa Celtics comes in sixth in the number 88. Diesel finishes this one in seventh in the 19. Number 42 of Marcus Edub finished that one in eighth, with Marinate coming back strong to finish this one in ninth, and Jose 720 sneaking in a top 10 there. We also get McLovin Racing, who finished this one in 14th. A congratulatory celebration for Fluffy, who gets the win in the number 17, most deserving of that trophy today, the California Dreamin' 200 trophy, that is. He did such a phenomenal job. After having a great race, he dominated this one. I can't imagine another driver taking this win away from him, but nonetheless, it was a phenomenal finish, and what a job by these drivers tonight to get the win. A little bit more of an update. It looks like we have Runner finished that one in 12th in the number 48 machine. Coach Matt finishes this one in 13th in the number 43. McLovin Racing finishes one in 14th, with DK Brown coming in 15th position in this one in the number 18 machine. MJO finishes one in 16th in the number 2 machine. K-Taddy Giggity finishes one in 17th in the number 37 machine. In 18th was Jocko, 17-19 in the 22. Vega Twister had a rough one at it today in the number 32, but came back to finish 19th after being a lap down a little bit earlier on. Finishing in 20th position today was killing it like Jason in the number 14 machine, and BBS Brennan finished in 21st. A couple of other drivers that we couldn't quite find still doing a great job today. All of these drivers did a phenomenal job in today's race. We were instrumental in having a great run in tonight's event. Everyone from the front to the back absolutely killed tonight's event. I couldn't be more proud of them. They absolutely kicked some serious butt tonight. So, a phenomenal race, a phenomenal finish. Hopefully, I've proved to you guys already that this league is as good as it gets. The Valor Racing League, especially here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. The California Dreamin' 200 at Auto Club Speedway, a phenomenal opener here to start off our 20-race schedule. This was just race 1, ladies and gentlemen. If you're excited from that, you guys will be even more excited to check out what happens here later on in the season. For now, my name is James McCombs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to tonight's event here in the Valor Racing League. I could not be more excited to bring you guys coverage from here on out, and joining me next week in the booth and from now on will be Koala, who you guys saw last week on Monday night and on Tuesday as well. Hopefully he'll be joining me in the booth. He'll be able to take a little bit of a load off, and you guys will get even more amazing commentary from him and myself as we continue to move along here in the coming weeks. But for now, week 1 of the Valor Racing League is in the booth. My name is James McCombs from Las Vegas in my bedroom, signing off.